Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's your homeboy, Cowboy Crunk. Let me get my things rolling here. Wanted to get a live stream going. You guys know I haven't done this in a while. The reason is the Cowboys have not made any moves, as far as I'm concerned, recently that warranted like a live stream or any kind of feed.
As far as I'm concerned, recently that
Currently, what we got is let me
kind of
get the
feed.
camera adjusted real quick. Sorry, guys.
Recently that currently what we got is let me get the camera adjusted real
Let
quick.
me get this thing turned off here. Um, Give me just a second, guys. There we go. I want to make sure the camera and the audio is working. Haven't used the studio in a while, so anybody out there, guys, we got this rolling. I do think the Cowboys have a good chance at getting this done. Now I got to find the phone. I've had a few messages come in. Right now, where it stands, looks like the Jets are asking for too much, and the Cowboys' concern with that is two things. If we go above and beyond what we want to pay for him, the second thing is, do we have the salary cap? A big thing is the Dak Prescott situation. The Dak Prescott situation could literally put this on hold, because if they're concerned that this is going to cause a problem with us being able to pay Dak Prescott, it's something we can't do. Let me grab my phone real quick. I do want to check my Twitter. Oh shit, you dumbass. My phone is out of service right now. Let me log into my Twitter real quick, guys. Check my Twitter account, and that's what's gonna www.twitter is what I need to be following. Um, Here we go. So let me get the Twitter open real quick, and then I'll be able to track this a little better. I'm actually pretty excited about this. It looks like what the Cowboys are more concerned about, versus what we're going to pay for him, is actually if we can afford him long term. If this is going to be a short deal, where we have to end up trading him after this season because we can't afford him. There could be a situation. It's just like taking on a car for a short period of time. Let's say you wanted a really nice car for a certain 6 month period, because you're going to be living in a certain place, and you bought the car. You knew you're only going to keep it for 6 months. Now you got to get rid of it because you're going somewhere, or you're taking on a new job where you knew you can't afford the car. Well, with the cap situation, there's a possibility we could afford him this year. But does that mean we can afford him next year after we start paying Dak? Does that mean we could afford him after we start paying Amari Cooper? After those contracts kick in, uh, can the Cowboys afford him? So that's where they are. The draft capital that they have to give up is not the super most important thing that's being looked at right now. He is not only from Texas. Okay, I'm just reading some of these updates on him. Also, let me get my. I can't see the chat box right now, guys, because I don't have the YouTube open. So let me get my YouTube open. Sorry if I'm missing comments. This is a situation that it's all about numbers. I can guarantee you right now, they're in the war room. They're crunching numbers. They're trying to see what they can do to make this happen. It could be a deal where we get him for 1 year and then we are forced to trade him because of cap situation. It could be a situation where they could work this out if Dak comes along and Dak works out his deal, and his deal makes it where we're capable of keeping Jamal Adams. Now, this is a situation the Cowboys can hold over Dak Prescott's head. So this gets a lot more in depth than what people are thinking. I looked at Jamal Adams' numbers. He's not a big ball hawk type guy, but with the increase of last week, our defensive line playing much better, getting after the quarterback. We got interceptions last week. Our first game where we really got turnovers. We got some strip sacks, and if you look prior to and right after the Jets game, that's what I was saying our problem was. Our problem was we were not getting the turnovers. We're not getting the turnovers. Therefore, if we're not getting the turnovers, we've got to do something to make that happen. They got the turnovers last week against the Eagles, and it was a completely different ball game. And we also jumped out to a big lead. So that did help us quite a bit. I think my camera's shut down right now. No, we're good. What's going on here? All right, we're live. Yeah. For some reason, I'm having trouble with my YouTube over here. Um, Let me know, guys, if the YouTube, the stream is going fine. Maybe I'm just having trouble with this computer. Let me log into this computer with my YouTube. This is part of. I need to shut some of these channels down maybe as well. What was that? I don't even know what that was. All right, let me get my YouTube channel open here. I am gonna, like I said, go back and forth and keep a close eye on the Twitter and make sure this trade gets done, or I get you guys updated as quickly as possible. One thing that's going down, like I said, from what I've heard, it's not a big concern on the trade value. They're willing to give up the trade value if they think, because he's a young player, if they think they can afford him long term, the Cowboys will do this. And that's the issue. And if they're not asking for too much, they're not going to get 2 first rounders. The Cowboys are not going to give 2 first rounders. What I've heard is they're asking for a first and much more. What much more would say to me is maybe like a third and a fifth, something like that. Let me get out some shout outs real quick. Everybody's jumping in here. This is me. This is Cowboy Crunk. You know, this is what I like to do. I like to watch these trade things come through. I like to see if it's going to happen. Actually, I did not think the Cowboys were going to make a move this year, and we did the Michael Bennett move. But when a player is put in front of you, and a team dangles a player in front of you, you're gonna ask. You're gonna ask what the price is, no matter what your situation is. So that's where the Cowboys are right now. Another thing that could happen, if all of us are out here discussing and it's out in the open and it's on ESPN that the Cowboys are looking at Jamal Adams, there's a really good chance that another team steps into the play and says, "Hey, we could make a move here. The Cowboys want a safety." They could be working on multiple deals right now with 2 or 3 different safeties in the league. So those kind of things can happen in the last few minutes. That's why you stick with this till the trade deadline. This is something, let's say Mika Fitzpatrick, he's not with the Dolphins anymore. But let's say a player like that, Miami situation, it really surprised me that they traded him. If you've got a situation where a team like that has fallen off for the season, they think their season is done, they can release a guy. Usually it's in this range. The players they want to get rid of are in this 3-4 year range like Jamal Adams is. And the reason is when their rookie contract deal is up, that's when you have to pay them. So they've got most of their rookie value out of Jamal Adams. So the fact that they've got most of their rookie contract out of the way, now they're looking, hey, we could trade this guy, get some draft picks, and not have to pay him in a year and a half. Because Jamal Adams has a year and a half left on his current rookie contract. And I think he has the 5th year option as well. That depends on if, does anybody, I know that this should be in there and I should have this information off the top of my head. I don't. Can anyone tell me what draft pick Jamal Adams was? Was he a first rounder or was he a second or later? If he was a first round draft pick, what that means is they have the option to give him a 5th year option, and that was one of the big deals with Ezekiel Elliott. So that was the reason that Ezekiel Elliott, first pick number 6. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew he was. I was almost recall the situation with his draft status and the pick. I was surprised he was picked that high. I know he played well out of college, so that means the Cowboys do have the option to give him a 5th year option, which is kind of like the Zeke thing. All rookie contracts, the way they do it now, it's a 4-year deal. When you come into the NFL, it's a 4-year deal. With a 5th year, or excuse me, with a first round player, you have the option to do a 5th year option on any first round player. If you're picked from 1st to 32nd, you get a 4-year deal, and then you're allowed to do a 5th year option. Now, this changed back in 2011. I think Flacco was like the last first round pick. He got like a $70 million, $60 million contract his first year. You don't see that anymore. You're not going to see like a player like Dak Prescott, or not Dak Prescott. You're not going to see a first round quarterback come in and get 70 million dollars anymore on a 4 year deal. It's just not going to happen. They don't have the negotiation tools nowadays like they used to. So with Jamal Adams being a first round pick, we do have the option to put a 5th year option on him. Uh, a 5th year option means basically they can hold him under that same salary. Basically, he gets an extra year on his rookie contract. Let's see. Regardless of what goes down, doesn't happen. I love that the NFL trade deadline is a thing that, yeah, the NFL trade deadline does make it really exciting. I haven't got this excited about. I've been watching the team. I've been watching the moves we're making. I really was surprised about the Michael Bennett thing. I'm extremely excited about it. And let me tell you what the Michael Bennett thing did. Uh, the Michael Bennett trade is going to get this defense fired up. That is exactly what they needed. The hot boys were not the hot boys, and the secondary was not the purge unit that they had been claiming to be this year. It just was not there. The Michael Bennett trade, that guy comes in with fire. He comes in with passion. He doesn't care who he plays for. He wants to play football. But I can tell you the fact that he said that he will come out and he will stand for the national anthem. Uh, and Jerry Jones asked, are you going to stand for the national anthem? Didn't ask him, are you going to disrespect it? He asked him, are you going to come out and stand for the national anthem? And when he told him, yes, I will do that, Jerry Jones had no problem signing him. So I appreciate that out of Jerry Jones. I appreciate that also out of Michael Bennett. If he's willing to come to the Cowboys, that's one of those things where players, they ride that line of being difficult in the locker room and being a pain in the ass, and then you see them like Antonio Brown, and things aren't working out for them because they rub too many people raw, and this shit hits the news. This shit's on Twitter. This shit's on Facebook. This shit, these things hit the news. And hold on, what are you gonna do? Okay, regardless, just reading real quick. Okay, that's NCAA news. But anyways, these are the kind of things that go down with these players that cause them to lose uh, equity in what they've built. They lose equity in what they built, just like a house. You're building this house, you're doing all these things, you do amazing things on the field, and then it actually gets to the point where a team will say, you know what, we don't give a damn what you do on the field because you're causing too many problems with certain players. And that's the thing, that's the reason the Cowboys have stuck with Jeff Heath and stuck with some of the guys they've stuck with. I think that's the reason Taco Charlton didn't get a chance. He didn't buy into the system. Rico Gathers, I don't think he bought into the system. So this is why I'm saying sometimes players that are impressive on the field, you've got one player he's a little more impressive on the field, but he just doesn't get there all the time. He doesn't get on the field as much as he should because he doesn't fit in the system. He doesn't fit in the locker room. He doesn't click with the other guys, and so the coaches will hold him back. And when the coaches hold some of these players back, that a lot of times that's the reason. They're just not clicking on the field, or they're not clicking in the locker room the same as some of these other guys are. And Jeff Heath is the perfect example. All the players love him. He does a great job. He doesn't do an outstanding job. He does get beat sometimes, but if he buys into the system and he does everything the Dallas Cowboys ask him to do, if he's one of those players that actually does what he's supposed to do as far as on the field, off the field, in the locker room, in practice, if he does those things, if he'll play when he's hurt, if he doesn't complain about injuries, they're gonna play a guy like that before they're gonna play a guy that's complaining about this, complaining about the locker room, complaining about back and forth with other things. So let me check this one more time. We should be hearing something soon. It is getting pretty close, but we could actually not hear anything, for a good 10, 15 minutes after the trade deadline if it gets done in the last few minutes. But Twitter has really slowed down. Let's see, we got exactly 32 minutes. But anybody, sorry I haven't been giving the shout outs. Thomas Garrett is in the house. Sam Bradford messed that up for the QBs. I'm not sure what the conversation was on. Crunk. He has 2 years left on rookie contract and slightly over $3 million a year. Yeah, at that price, we could deal with that, of course. The problem is trying to keep him long term, and I'm sure that's what the Cowboys are looking at, James. If they make a trade and we give up a first rounder, can we afford to pay this guy 3 4 years down the road? If we make a trade and a first, a third, and a fifth, do we have to trade the guy when his rookie contract is up? Those kind of things. So, of course, with the salary cap going up every year, there's a good chance those things get covered. But we continue to say that, oh, the salary cap's going up. We can do this and we can make this trade happen and we can change this around. So those are the things we got to look at. There's we've got the rookie deal. If he's still on his rookie deal, we can fifth year option him because of what he was a first round pick, pick sixth overall. So that does extend the possibility. That very much extends the possibility of us trying to keep him. But then we've got a player that's probably going to want a contract. You're going to run into the Ezekiel Elliott type thing. He's not going to want to stay here on his rookie deal. He's not going to want to do that extra year on his contract when there's rookies that were drafted in the third round, fourth round with him in the same draft class that are making 12 13 million a year, and he's going to be still sitting at the 3 million. And that was the problem with Ezekiel Elliott. If you guys recall, Ezekiel Elliott wanted to do his deal a year early. Really, if he wasn't a first rounder, it wasn't a year early. So that's the thing that's going on. And also the Dak as well as Crunk, no contract yet. Yeah, I haven't got a contract yet. I don't know what the hell's going on. But no, seriously, guys, the Dak situation plays into this. Also, how long does Jamal Adams have left on his rookie deal, which he will be fifth year optioned? The Cowboys are going to throw that at him. They're going to see how it tastes. If they do this deal, they're going to have to try to get what they can out of him on his rookie deal, and that concern is due to the salary cap. We're looking 3-4 years down the road. The thing is, do the Cowboys want to give up a first and a third and a fifth or something like that for a guy that they can't keep? Past his rookie deal, past his fifth year option. Because if it gets into the fifth year option and then that contract is over, now you're looking at paying him 13, 14 million by that time. And is that something the Cowboys can afford? If they think they can afford it, there's no use in doing the deal unless they can get the trade value down to where they can do the 2 years with him and just let him go, or look at trading him. And not many players these days, not many teams are going to trade for a safety that's been in the league 5 years, and it will still be somewhat in his prime, unless he has some crazy injuries. They're not going to trade for a Jamal Adams in 2022, 2023, and he's going to be asking for 13, 14 million. It's the same situation we saw with Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas was wanting more money. Earl Thomas wanted out. Earl Thomas wanted more money, and people were saying, "Hey, we're not going to do that. He's past his prime. He's injury prone. He's a 5-6 year safety. Is going to have some injuries that are going to concern teams, basically." Swaggy D, I say no to me. Garrett is a bigger problem. I will say this: I don't know where the problem existed in those 3 games we lost, but they sure as hell fixed it against the Eagles. And I think what they needed somebody to. It's an old expression. I think Jason Garrett, somebody pissed in his cornflakes, and he fired that damn team up. And that's the way the Cowboys need to play. That defense was fired up. There was enough social media, there was enough television and those things talking trash about the Cowboys, talking trash about the defense. And when that stuff's thrown around, it fires you up. Hey guys, what's up? South of Heaven 88 is in the house. Check out his channel. He's been doing a lot of nighttime live streams, which I'm sure I'll jump in those with him once I get to Bahrain. I do leave here on 11 November. I'm headed from here to Bahrain on 11 November. I'll be there on the 13th, so I'll probably fire the channel up around. Takes like 3 freaking days. Horrible flights. The government, great situation with the government, my job I've got, but they give you horrible flights. I fly from Houston to Amsterdam. I'm in the airport for 8 hours in Amsterdam, and then I fly Amsterdam to Bahrain. So I got a 12-hour flight, an 8-hour sit in the airport, and a 12-hour flight. Ridiculously horrible. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna check this Twitter again real quick. These say, okay, here we go. Reality joining Michael Bennett's agent. He joins. Sorry, guys, I read much better in silence. So nothing yet. Um, I got duped. I thought it said updated. Okay, I thought we had an update. But guys, the main thing is, as this rolls through, thank you for the safe travels, Raymond. Um, Steve Scoggins in the house. What's up, brother? DCFL. Dallas Cowboys for life, for sure, bro. Um, we will have issues with if we take this Jamal Adams trade on, we will have issues with this guy down the road as far as money goes. If the Cowboys do this, they've really got to look at the budget and see if we can afford him after the rookie deal. So the thing is, if we can't afford him after the rookie deal, we can afford him now. We can afford him through the end of his rookie deal. We can fifth year option him just like we did Ezekiel Elliott because he was a first rounder. But if we can't afford him after that, whatever we give up as trade value, we lost that. So we're giving up a first, a third, and a fifth to get a guy for 2 years. That's why the Cowboys are looking at this. So do you guys understand? If we give up a first, a third, and a fifth for Jamal Adams, we have him until his rookie deal is over. He has 2 years left, fifth year option. We have him 2.5 years. If we can't afford to pay him and we have to trade him, you're not going to get that value back for him because now he's asking for 13, 14 million. Right now he's only getting 3 million, between 3 and 4 million. So that's the issue with making the trade and talking about, can we afford him? Can we afford him long term or can we afford him only short term? If we can only afford him short term, we can't give up that much trade value because we're going to lose that long term. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. But that's the reason you have to look at the salary cap. You have to look at the salary cap down the road. You have to see if he fits in long term. If he doesn't fit in long term, you can't give up a first, third, and a fifth. You can give up maybe a first. We've still got to get Amari Cooper on the book. We've still got to get Dak Prescott on the books. And basically, what they need to do is they need to ask Dak Prescott, hey, do you want us to make this deal or not? Because if we make this deal, it's going to be harder to make your deal. And these are the kind of situations where you guys know the New England Patriots have been very, very good at making these things happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick wouldn't call one of his players, call Edelman, call Crunk, call one of his players, call one of the defensive backs, Chung, call and say, "Hey, I want to make this deal, but I got to make a deal with you. Your contract has to be worked out before I do this deal." But you've got to talk to the other players. You got to see Dak could really, the money we're spending on Dak or are going to have to spend on Dak could cause some issues down the road. And as we've heard, Dak has been very firm over the last few days. So check Twitter again one more time. We are 23 minutes away from the deadline. We should start hearing something soon. If something's going to come through, it will probably be within the next 15 minutes. Let's see, trying to work the phone. Cowboys trade options during a mandatory meeting in the office. They are, yes, what is this? Uh-oh. Trying to work the phone on Cowboys trade options 44 seconds ago. 4 minutes. Yes, I got duped. Yeah, of course, the Cowboys are in the war room right now. I'm sure Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Garrett, most of these trades that are being looked at or their possibilities concern secondary. Another thing is, guys, with the Cowboys throwing out this safety issue, with them throwing out this, hey, we want to trade. They're looking at safeties. It's very feasible that another team that pretty much has fallen to the wayside this year. It doesn't look like they're going to perform this year. It's very feasible that they reach out and try to get rid of a second, third, fourth year safety like Miami did with Mika Fitzpatrick. It's very feasible that another team reaches out to the Cowboys and say, hey, what about this safety? He's a second round, he's a third round, he's a first round. It's his second year. Our season is over. We might as well, go ahead and try to get some trade value for some of our mid-turn, mid-player type guys. And some teams will do that. Some teams will reach out and try to make a move. And there's no doubt in my mind that the phone is ringing in multiple areas. That's not gun. Used to be good. Intended purpose for all. Oh, okay. Some of the things that come in just don't make sense at all. But I will say this: the top guys on Twitter are being very quiet right now. I haven't seen anything from the top sources. And let's see. I haven't seen anything from the top guys in about 30 or 40 minutes. A lot of times, what that means is they're getting information back on certain players, certain deals. They're trying to get deals together. They're trying to confirm things before update. Jamal Adams is leaving in the guy. Oh, Jamal Adams is leaving it in God's hands. So that's a tweet from Jamal Adams. He's leaving it in God's hands. He wants to come back to Dallas. The Cowboys want him here. Will the Cowboys do this? Byron Jones is a beast. We better keep that guy. I added that on the end. We better keep this guy. But I agree. Here we go. Other countries that treat scholarship. Okay, that's just a news update. The top guys are being really quiet right now, guys. That does concern me a little bit. There's hundreds of probably possible trades going on right now around the NFL. Of course, we're only concerned about our Dallas Cowboys. Hey, salute Cowboys first and 10. How you doing, brother? Welcome. Dan Blatt, Big Blatt Splat, always hitting the live stream with something nice and solid. I appreciate it, bro. I've missed a few of you guys because I'm trying to watch this Twitter and I'm trying to get updates as well as keep the channel going, keep the live stream going. Get Jamal now. Hey guys, it just depends. Like I said, it depends on what the Cowboys can get him for. I've probably explained this a few times. If you've been on the channel for more than 10 minutes, I've probably explained it already. But I'll tell you guys, if you're just joining in, what the concern is. The concern is the Cowboys can go get him. It's not the concern that what the trade value is. The trade value is only a concern if we give a first, a third, and a fifth. The problem is we've got 2.5 years left on his contract this year, next year, and then a fifth-year option because he's a first-rounder. If we make the deal and 2.5 years from now he's asking for $15 million and we can't pay it, if we cannot afford to pay that, we have to trade him or we have to get rid of him. Now we're stuck with a 5-year safety. He's in his fifth year. His fifth year's done. He might have some injuries. Some teams might be interested, some teams not. But you're not going to get a first, a fifth, and a third back for him. What you're going to do is you're going to get 2.5 years out of him, and you're going to have to trade him. So the Cowboys have to budget. They have to look down the line and see 2.5 years from now, can we afford, when he's off of his rookie contract, can we pay him on a veteran contract? Can we afford to pay him then? If they can, they can make the deal. If they can't, they got to say, okay, well, you're asking for too much because we only get him 2.5 years. We're not going to be able to pay him in 2022, 2023. We won't be able to afford him. We're going to have to trade him. So why give up a first, a third, and a fifth if we're not going to be able to keep him long term? So that's why there's a big concern about budgeting down the road. They're looking at Dak's contract. They're looking at Cooper's. They're looking at what they gave Zeke. They're looking at the linemen. If we want to re-sign these linemen, their contracts will be up by then. Some of those guys are going to have to be re-signed. It is a major task. It is a major task for the Cowboys to look at this and see if they can make this happen long term. If they can, you do the deal. If you can't, you've got to lower the trade value. You give them a first and that's it. Or you give them a second and a third, or you give them a second and a fourth, or whatever the Cowboys, but you cannot give them a first, a third, and a fifth if the Cowboys think they're not going to be able to afford him in 2022, 2023. That's what the situation is. That's why it takes so long. That's why these things are war room situations. That's why everyone has to sit down. Last update: Jamal Adams is leaving it in God's hands. I'll retweet that. Retweet. So basically, Jamal Adams, he's up in the air. He's leaving it in God's hands, but he wants to be a Cowboy. I could almost guarantee you he has no issues even with the salary. This is one of the situations where I think he's one of those players. We always talk about the Cowboys. Sometimes we think we could get a player a little cheaper than some other teams could, and there's a big possibility. But Dan Blatt, a second and a fourth, maybe, yeah. If if the Cowboys think we can't afford him long term. Now, another situation: do the Jets think they can afford him long term? I'm sure they can. I've also been told. I saw that the Jets are interested in maybe moving Le'Veon Bell. So if they're interested in moving Le'Veon Bell, maybe they're trying to make cap room to make some trades for, or get some guys in during the off season. This is a good time. If you're going to do those things, this is a good time to do it. You've got actually 16 minutes. Let me go back. Retweet. I don't know why everyone is surprised about the news on Kyrie being Moody. Basketball news. I have had fun watching baseball. That I cannot believe I'm saying that. I did watch some baseball. Go Astros. We might win the. I can't say we because I haven't followed the Astros, but I've been following the World Series. It's kind of like if you don't watch football, you can still watch a Super Bowl depending on who's in it. And it would be nice to see the Cowboys. Think about this: if the Cowboys and the New England Patriots were in the Super Bowl, what kind of viewership would that get? That would probably double any other Super Bowl that's ever been watched. You have the New England Patriots that you either hate them or love them. Most people hate them. You got the Dallas Cowboys, who everybody either hates them or loves them. So basically, everyone that's ever watched a football game would be interested in watching the Cowboys and the Patriots beat the shit out of each other. I think it'd be a good, of course, it'd be a classic all-time Super Bowl. Two of the best teams all time in the NFL going head to head. Two of America's teams, new tweeter and man, I can't even say this damn thing. I'm crunching numbers so fast. Twitter, update, baby. I don't know what. Okay, this is something ridiculous. Cheapest and easiest way to get around New York City. New York City news. So we should be Cowboys versus Chiefs. Right on. Hey, I want to see New England Cowboys. New England. To me, that is it. We lay Tom Brady to rest. The Cowboys do it. We're a young team. We're in a window. If we can get a Super Bowl this early, guys, if we could get in a Super Bowl this early, with the young cats we got, the signings we've had, we really could be in a good 4 or 5 year window as long as Jerry Jones don't fuck it up again like he did with Jimmy Johnson. We would have ran off a few more Super Bowls at that point in time. But don't want to talk about Super Bowls. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves right now. We've got to lock in this trade. I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping it. Oh, I've got a notification. I thought I had a nothing special yet. Everything's quiet. Here we go. What is this? Every time Eagles make a. Jay Howard steps onto the field. He honors and remembers. Oh, okay. This is just an honor and memory of sad stories sometimes in the NFL. I don't have time to get into that right now. I'm still going back and forth on this. But anybody got any ideas on Thomas Garrett? Remember 50 years ago in Super Bowl III? Shit, man. That's Super Bowl VI right there. I had planned on purchasing, as you guys know, if you've been part of the channel, I planned on purchasing all of those, which they're relatively expensive. So I did only purchase one, and the reason I only purchased one, I wanted to see the quality of them. But since I bought it, I've traveled around. I've been to some Super Bowl events. I've been to some Cowboy events, and I've seen some Super Bowl trophies. And that one is just as nice as any Super Bowl trophy, even the originals. It's the exact same size, dimensions, everything. So now I've tried to place an order and purchase the other 4 trophies, and the company was shut down due to, I guess, some type of copyright infringement. So I've got a copyright Super Bowl trophy that I can't do shit with, and I can't get the rest of them. So, but anyways, we're still working this. I think it is slightly. There's a very good chance this probably doesn't go down this late. But if you guys recall when we did the Demarcus Lawrence deal, I was as well following Twitter second by second following Twitter. I actually had given up. There was a few minutes left, and breaking news: Demarcus Lawrence got his contract signed. So we you never know. Last minute things can happen. Also, I did watch an outstanding football game last night. Basketball game. The Rockets against the Thunder. If you guys are basketball heads at all, if you enjoy basketball, that game was outstanding. Here we go, guys. A few more minutes left. Where we at? Let me get some shout outs. Hi, everyone, please. Oh, thanks, Dan Blatt. Big Blatt, Dan Splat in the house. Again, USMC Lambo always here. Juan Rodriguez, sup Crunk from Dallas. Hey, bro, how you doing, man? Nice to see you again. D. Will in the house. Will McClay brought talent to Dallas. Well said, bro. The talent that's coming in is so good. That's the issue with trying to make a trade with this guy, is the talent that the Cowboys have brought in is so good. It's going to be a little difficult to pay Jamal Adams down the road because we have these young guys we got to pay. We still got Byron Jones waiting on a salary. We still got Dak Prescott waiting on a salary. Leighton Vander Esch is going to be waiting on a salary. These guys are going to be looking at salaries when it comes up time to hit Jamal Adams up for his contract. Oh, word. Hold on. Some movement inside the Star in Frisco. A team source tells me headquarters Jason Garrett's passing game coordinator Chris Huddeval and safeties coach are meeting as we speak. 12 minutes to go. Hey, guys, right now, as we speak, there's some movement going on in the Frisco, in the Star, that they're joking around. They're throwing the football around. Safeties coach Greg Jackson are meeting as we speak. So the safeties coach right now is meeting with Jason Garrett, guys. Right now, the safeties coach is meeting with Jason Garrett. There's moves. It looks like this may happen. Give it a few minutes, guys. Hang in there. This trade is happening right now. I think they're trying to decide, do we do this? Give it 1 second. Let's see. Safeties coach Greg Jackson are meeting as we speak with Chris Richard. 12 minutes to go to the deadline, and the coaches are doing a private meeting with Jason Garrett. Here we go, guys. Let's go. Hey, man, I don't know. The numbers are dropping off on this. I don't know why. The trade is up. Guys, if they're hustling together to get around each other, if the safety coach is meeting with the defensive back coach and they're getting with the head coach, we're going to have. I think we got something moving here. They're discussing probably what we could do. Maybe there's a situation where these guys want Jordan Lewis, or maybe there's a situation where they want Jeff Heath. Do we give up? I mean, our team's going to want something like that. But there's got to be something going on right now for these coaches to get together and be having a last minute meeting 10 minutes before. As I said, some movement inside the Star in Frisco. A team source tells me head coach Jason Garrett, passing game coordinator Chris Richard, and safeties coach Greg Jackson are meeting as we speak. So I've been in. I'm surprised if we made a big mode. But I'm in slowly come around, and the idea, some of this stuff on Twitter, I think everyone's typing so fast, some of it doesn't make sense, but it looks like, guys, we could have something coming here. As I said, Jason Garrett meeting with Chris Richard, also meeting with the safety coach, Greg Jackson. This is just minutes before the deadline is over. This was 3 minutes ago. So we could have some news here. It looks like they were tossing some things around kind of jokingly. That could mean, hey, we've got the deal done. They're celebrating. But not sure what that means. I think there's people that can see into the room when, and there's reporters there, of course. And when they see action like that, of course, I've been surprised. Man, this is tense. I can't help it. I'm pulling for these Cowboys. Still nothing. God dang it! If it happens, guys, it's going to happen here within the next few minutes. So, Antoine Myers, thank you for the super chat, brother. Uh, I'll be pissed if we trade Jordan Lewis. I would too. But when things come down to this last second, if we've got X Woods, we've got Davian Wilson. If we've got the backbone of what we're keeping, and we can do this long term. That's what they're looking at. If they think they can do this long term, they'll make this deal. If we lose a first, a third, and a fifth, that's where I think we're looking at. I think we're looking at a first, a third, and a fifth round pick. Man, I don't know. But that's only if we can keep the guy long term. If they think they can squeeze in Dak Prescott's contract, Byron Jones' contract, you've got LVE coming down the road. I mean, LVE's contract involves this because Jamal Adams, LVE will be looking at his contract in the middle of Jamal Adams' veteran contract. Jamal Adams has 2 years left. 2 years and the fifth year option is going to put us trying to decide, can we pay him more than 2 years? Ask Cowboy Source if anything was going down in the last 10 minutes. Source said, doesn't look like it. Okay, Cowboys don't have a deal for Jamal Adams. They don't have a deal for Chris Harris as they held firm. Well, guys, it looks like nothing happened. They probably backed out. They probably decided to keep who they are. This is what I'm seeing, that nothing went down. There is 5 minutes left. They may have backed down trying to be hard, but there was a final meeting between Chris Richard. It did involve Jason Garrett and Jackson, the safety coach. I'm going to give it a few more minutes because anything could happen. We had the same thing going on with DeMarcus Lawrence. Minutes before, it looked like there was going to be no deal. I actually got up. I was about to leave and go to the shower. And don't hold your breath on Jamal Adams. Sounds like this was a it didn't happen meeting as we approach this deadline. Team sources just told me too pricey. Okay, guys. Well, that's from a very solid source. You guys know Jane Slater. She's pretty much on top of everything. That came out 43 seconds ago. It looks like it was too pricey. The Cowboys didn't know if they could keep him long term. As for now, there are a few more minutes left, but there could be a call at the last second, but I really, really doubt it. Sources say that the trade is not going to go down. It looks like it was too pricey, which means the Cowboys didn't want to give up that much trade capital and then possibly not be able to pay him in 2022, 2023 when his rookie deal was up. Kind of bummed out news, but those, as I said, something was going on because there was no news for literally 5 minutes. Chris Harris stating in Denver, bearing a last-minute trade. The Broncos aren't trading Chris Harris either. Chris Harris is going to be stuck there in Denver, which is where he wanted to actually stay. Too much information. Thanks for almost getting my hopes up on Twitter. Going back to work with blue ball. Going back to work with blue balls. Sorry, guys. Hey, wow. Not trying to get anyone's, You've got to look at these things, and I can assure you there were probably other deals being looked at as well. What if the real trade was the friends we made along the way? Oh, isn't that sweet? Yeah. No deal, guys. Backed out. Cowboys look like they've backed out and decided not to go through with the deal. It looks like it was too pricey, too expensive. There are a few minutes left, but I seriously doubt. With what I heard, that Jason Garrett, Bill Belichick with the binoculars watching Cowboy Nation. I'm sure Bill Belichick was watching Cowboy Nation. I'm sure those guys are keeping up with everything as well. But it looks like the trade did not go through. I'm kind of happy with it. I'm good with what we have. If we can continue, guys, what we fucking had this week, that's what we got to have. We got to have what we had this week. We've got to be able to hold that kind of that kind of play together, that kind of intensity. We've got to hold it together. We've got to play with fire. We've got to play with passion. Um, what is this? I something was. Don't believe anything this team does. We're just going to be passing on safeties. Man, I'm a little upset too. I want to make sure I say your name right. Urbajo or Balaejo. I'm sorry, bro, if I jack your name up. Swaggy D in the house. Yeah, yeah, it's a little funny. I'm a little pissed too, but you know, guys, I think we really do look solid. Jamal Adams, it's official. Posted by the Gridiron. Jamal Adams is staying with the Jets. Chris Harris is staying with the Broncos. So no deal made on either one of these players. Very unfortunate, or it could be fortunate. You know, guy, it's something. It's something the Cowboys looked at. The Cowboys checked the price on him. The Cowboys wanted to see what the market was, and I'm not sure how interested the Cowboys were, but I do give them some credit for sticking their head out. Now, what they need to do now is realize we've got to move forward. We got to play with intensity. We got to play with fire. We've got to play with the type of we have to win every. We have to get out to an early start. We have to play that way the rest of the season. We looked completely different last weekend than we did those three losses. A completely different team. We had the same play. Yeah, okay. We picked up our guard, our tackles. Amari Cooper was back. Gallup was there. I think Dak Prescott's. I think his rhythm was off even a little bit with the offense. I think the offense could have played a little better, but yeah, Eric Berry's situation is long term. Eric Berry has something that's called bone spurs. Bone spurs are very aggressive problems with your feet, which can come back very easily. So that's the issue with Eric Berry. That's why no one is reaching out to Eric Berry. He could be healthy. He can stay off his feet. Those things will go away, but they can come back very easily. And you could be stuck with an Eric Berry that just can't get on the field. And that's the situation with Eric Berry there, Raymond. Um, Scoggins, it's a trade. I wish, guys, last word, and that was put out by the Gridiron. Was told there will be no trade involving Trent Williams as well. File it under the yeah. We can file these trade contracts. We can file them in the shredder, basically. So nothing was done. No moves made by the Cowboys. I'm happy with what we got. We got Michael Bennett. Let's look at it this way, guys. We got Michael Bennett at an excellent price. We got Michael Bennett at an excellent price, and we didn't overpay for Jonathan Adams, or excuse me, Jamal Adams. We didn't overpay for Jamal Adams, so it's a good thing. I think we're going into next week with a better team. I think Michael Bennett is going to fire this defense up. One thing Michael Bennett adds is he adds passion, bro. That guy will fight to the. That dude gets pissed off. Don't talk shit about. Don't talk shit about anybody on the field. He will back up a quarterback. He will run onto. The guy has a blistering temper, and that's what the Cowboys need. They need somebody that's gonna put some temper into the Cowboys, and that's something Jason Garrett doesn't do. And we did it last week. We got out to an early start, and look how easy we walked through that game with the Eagles. So unfortunately, guys, no trade made for Jamal Williams. I'm gonna check God damn, uh, Jamal Adams. Um, the asking price for Jamal, I'm told, was a shade under what the Jaguars got for Jalen Ramsey, which is to say they were asking for a lot. Yeah. So the trade value was actually very similar to Jalen Ramsey, and Jamal Adams is not a Jalen Ramsey. So if the trade value was very close to that, you're talking about completely two different players. Jamal Adams is a solid, very good, outstanding safety. Jalen Ramsey's maybe some people say the best safety in the league. A lot of people say that he carries. Jalen Ramsey carries every tool in his toolbox. Uh, Jamal Adams carries most of the tools in his toolbox. So I would say good trade. If the Cowboys held off, I'm happy with that. We cannot give up Jalen Ramsey type money or trade value for Jamal Adams. Why even play with a safety? Well, hey, Jeff Heath has hurt us sometimes, but he has made some plays. There's been a few times where Jeff Heath has played well, but overall, yeah, we definitely need to make a move at that position. If you're going to be elite, and I do think we're elite at every position on defense except for defensive tackle and safety. Those are the two positions where we could make a move. Tristan Hill was supposed to be that move. It's a little early for him. He's got some growing to do. He's got some weight to put on. He's got some strength to get behind him. You guys know, if you've been with my channel for more than a year or more than 6 months, I consistently talk about these defensive linemen and these offensive linemen need a year or two at least to put weight and strength on. They've got to hit the weight room. An NFL weight room is completely different than most of these college weight rooms. An NFL eating program, the food you can afford when you're an NFL player, the trainers you can afford, the personal massages, masseuses, and all this crazy stuff these NFL players get to do really elevates you to a different level. Especially once you get on, out of your rookie contract and you can start eating right. You can have a personal trainer. You can have a therapist. You can have all these things. It completely changes your game. Let me get some shout outs real quick. Uh, Jonathan Lindsay, what's up? If you can get enough pressure on the quarterback fast enough, all you need is the safeties that are average. Hey, man, I completely agree. It would be nice to have above average safeties, which I do think we have. I think Jeff Heath is average. I think Xavier Woods is above average. But that's my thing as well. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, which we did, Robert Quinn had multiple pressures. Demarcus Lawrence had multiple pressures. We had some pressures up the middle this game. And what did we get? We got turnovers. We got fumbles. If the defensive line can get on the running back quickly, you get fumbles from running backs because you're getting a hold of the running back before he can get a good hold of the ball, tuck the ball, put it under his shoulder, get the point of the ball set. You guys know how you set the point of the ball. If you can get a running back while he's getting the handoff before he gets the point of the ball tucked in, you can get fumbles. Though you get 3 or 4 fumbles a year that way. You'll get fumbles off strip sacks. 2016, all of the strip sacks we had were well and far above what we've been doing last year and this year. So that's something we've got to increase, guys. Um, Anything else out there? But defensive line can create a lot of issues in that secondary for the receivers because balls are thrown off target when quarterbacks are rushed. When balls are thrown off targets, if your safeties can just be in the area of the defender, a lot of times you can step in and make a play. You can knock the ball down. It's thrown behind them. The ball's tipped up. That's what we need from our defensive line. Um, Swaggy D, we can't stop the run right now. That's an issue that's got to be stopped up front. We've got to get our D1s, our D2s, uh, to shut this run game down. We've got to have our linebackers step up and stop these runs that are going for 7 and 8 yards and 12 yards. The linebackers have got to shut that down to 4 yards, 3 yards. If our defensive tackles can't do it, our linebackers got to step up, and shut these gaps down. In order to do that, your corners have got to play up on the receivers, and you've got to make sure you don't get beat deep. If your linebackers are going to play the gaps quick and play the gaps tough, you've got to make sure that the safeties are up covering those tight ends coming across the middle behind the linebackers, and you've got to be really careful on play action. If your linebackers are stepping up and play action takes effect, and your linebackers are filling the gaps, and there's nobody behind them, you're gonna have slot receivers, and you're gonna have tight ends behind the linebackers in wide open field, and you better hope your safeties can tackle. So it's a game. It's a game we all play with the defense, with the offense, moving guys around, and that's where you've got to have linebackers that can really judge the run game. America's team. I can only come to the conclusion that Jones don't care about winning Super Bowls. Um, I I can't I can't agree with that. I mean, it's a strong statement. I understand. I want one too. Jerry Jones has been around a while. He has his three Super Bowls, but we got a blitz. I agree with that. But maybe Bennett gonna help the pass rush. I see it. Yeah, Bennett's gonna help the pass rush, especially on third down. If we can get some, if we can prevent from our defense getting these, hands to the face, if we can prevent, because those are the kind of things Michael Bennett does, the hands to the face, late hits on the quarterbacks, those things can kill a drive. You guys saw that was the only thing Philly really scored on is the drive where the Cowboys gave the two personal penalties up. We had two 15-yard penalties on that drive. So if we can keep Michael Bennett from hands to the face, if we can keep him from let me check the camera here. Okay, we're good. I had an issue with the internet, guys. Sorry. If we can keep Michael Bennett from getting these penalties, hands to the face, late hits on the quarterbacks, stuff like that, yeah, we'll be in a good situation with Michael Bennett. He's going to help the pass rush. When we get in, this is the thing, guys. When we get in situations like we get in situations like 2nd and 20, 1st and 20, we're going to put this NASCAR package out there. We're going to have Bennett, Demarcus Lawrence, and Quinn out there, and maybe Woods or Malik Collins. You put those four guys out there, or maybe even five of them. Maybe you could move Quinn even to like a middle linebacker type situation and put your normal guys out there. Just switch out Bennett and move Quinn like to a speed linebacker or excuse me, not speed linebacker, like a big run set linebacker. Man, we really have some options. I don't know if I think Quinn is fast enough to play a little bit of linebacker, maybe 4 or 5 snaps a game. But anyways, I'm gonna shut it down, guys. That's where I'm at. I'm happy to see Taco Charlton doing a little better with Miami than he did with us. I think he needed a little bit of time on the field. Like I told you guys, I think the reason those kind of things happen sometimes is the fact that you've got to play into the system. The Cowboys have a system. If you don't buy into that system, you're not going to get the field. You're not going to see the field. So where are we at? I saw an issue in here. You can hit like on that on the drive, Crunk, just to show that offenses were coming downhill fast with bad intentions. Yeah, we Jonathan Lindsay, appreciate it. Hey, bro. Oh, you were the one. Was that? Oh, let me do this. I think this is something I was supposed to do. I think that was you. I don't know if that was you. I had a moderator that was removed. Yeah, there you go. I got you back. See, I remembered. I got a little bit of a memory, even though I've been even though I've been drinking quite a bit the last couple of weeks. Hey guys, I'm headed to Bahrain. I'm excited. New job is gonna be off the chain. I'm gonna check Twitter one more time, man. You never know what the hell's gonna go down here. Eric Berry is still a free agent, I guess. What are people talking about Eric Berry? So how much did the Jets want for Jamal Adams? Without getting into specifications, I was told a lot, a little less than Jamal. Yeah, old news, not old news. That was put up about 5 minutes ago. But yeah, they wanted the same price for Jamal Adams as pretty much it was Jalen Ramsey type trade value. And that was 2 first rounders and a fourth. I cannot believe they were asking for that. There's no way they're going to get that for the guy, but maybe that's what they were, just you never know. Sometimes you buy a lottery ticket and you hope you win. Maybe the Jets were throwing a lottery ticket out there to see if anybody wanted to make that move. But hey, great hanging with you too, South of Heaven 88. I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna go celebrate us locking our team in. I'm gonna go grab me a rum and coke. It is 3:12 p.m. here in the Magnolia Magnasty, Houston, Texas. My wife, actually, Cowgirl Crunk, started her job today. Uh, she's working she's doing a little bartending at a salon. It's a man salon. It's a male salon type really high end place, really cool. Just something to get her out a little bit because I've spent so much damn time gone, and she's been doing her makeup thing. Things have been going really, really well with that. But she wanted to do just. I asked, Ashley if she wanted to do something different, and a friend of mine owns a salon, so she went over there to kind of bartend, which is a pretty cool deal. But hey, Cowboy Crunk, always here for you guys. Love you guys. We locked our team in. The team is locked for the season. Um, we can only move forward and hope Jason Garrett. Somebody pisses in Jason Garrett's Wheaties piss in his Wheaties every Saturday. That's all I want. Actually, do it on Monday so that he gets ready all week. He needs to fire these guys up all week. Hopefully, nobody gets hurt in practice, but we can see what happens when the Dallas Cowboys and the coaching staff are pissed off. We had a completely different offense. We ran 4 or 5 videos. If you guys aren't aware, 4 or 5 plays that I haven't even seen all season. The fake end around with Tavon Austin, throw it back to Tavon Austin. That play was, dude, the play to Jarwin, to Blake Jarwin, wide open. I haven't even seen a player that open. Dramatic, drastic play calling, completely different than the 3-week losses, and even in the first 3 games we had in the season. But I hope the Cowboys can stay on that page. You guys be safe as well. MC Lambo, Cowboys 1st and 10. Jonathan Lindsay, Stargazer in the house. How you doing, bro? Thank you very much. Swaggy D in the house. Let me throw you a wrench, man. You've been on here a long time. I'm trying to get this stuff rolling again. I've just been so busy. I did get my diplomatic passport. That's done as well. So I am a official government official. I swear in on the 13th or 14th of November in Bahrain. I'll be working there in the Middle East headquarters. So you guys take care. Cowboy Crunk is out. Team is locked in. No Jalen Ramsey. Of course, we weren't going to pay Jalen Ramsey money for Jamal Adams. So we got no Jamal Adams, no Jalen Ramsey, no safeties. We're sticking with Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath will continue to be the GOAT. The GOATs, I guess, greatest of all time safety. We'll call him the GOATs, I guess, for now. But anyway, guys, Cowboy Crunk, I'm out. Peace. Hang in there, Jeff Heath. Do your fucking job, Jeff Heath.